Hi, welcome everyone. I'm going to give you a presentation on the engineering deliverable management capabilities of Wrench SmartProject. My name is Verghese Daniel. I'm the CEO of Wrench Solutions, who are the developers of SmartProject software. Now, we have a different modules of Wrench, which encompasses there are 14 different modules. The focus of today is to only talk about the engineering deliverable management capability of Wrench, which includes how does Wrench manage engineering data, how does it manage the workflow process of engineering, how does it monitor the engineering. So that's why we call it as engineering deliverable management, which it also monitors deliverables of engineering, and communications and minutes of the meeting, which are the communication that you do within your office and across the office for engineering deliverables. Now, for a typical engineering company, you have a schedule which is defined by your client, or you give a client a schedule, and that gets broken down into a list of deliverables. So what does Wrench do is that it takes the schedule and dovetails the deliverables, and for each deliverable inside this, you can have a workflow process on how this deliverable needs to get processed through the system. And from this, it provides a to-do list to every user as to what are they supposed to do, and it captures as the work happens from the user, the actuals, and based on the rule of credit that is specified, it gives you the weightage, and this weightage is rolled up and updated within Wrench SmartProject for that deliverable status. And depending on the weightage of those deliverables, it rolls up and updates the status back into your planning software, which could be Primavera or MS Project. So you could generate your reports, dashboard, etc. from either from the planning software, or you can get it out of Wrench. Now, what is that we do as a process is that typically what happens in an engineering company is that you have a deliverable list. And this deliverable list, the list of drawings and documents you committed to give to your client. So you can see that there is a drawing number, there is a weightage for each drawing. You also define what are the different stages by which this drawing is supposed to be processed, and you have a weightage assigned to it. And for each activity, you may have you will have a planned date, which are identified here. And if you miss on it, you have a forecasted date. And then based on the actuals, you get your progress, and this progress calculated is what you see as a total progress of that of each deliverable, and this is how people maintain and monitor their deliverables. So the only difference here is the actuals are updated manually. You calculate the progress and then update and give it to your client as a report. Now, to achieve this, so this is the starting point, which means a deliverable list. Then same thing applies to even vendors, which means the vendor publishes and tells you that these are the drawings I'll give you. For there also you have a weightage. You say, when are you supposed to give it to me? And based on that, I capture the status and update this. So this is how typically engineering deliverables are managed by an engineering company. Now, what we do is that you first define the deliverable list. Then you classify the deliverables based on the type of deliverable, which of these deliverables need to get approved, which are to be sent for information, which needs to be sent for review. And then you also define, your client will say, what is the approval status code? And you define a code for that and a weightage for that. And then you also have a revision series that every time you revise a drawing, you say either it's going from A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever this revision numbering is defined in the system. Now, in any engineering organization, you have a distribution matrix which defines your quality process, in which you specify that each type of drawing, who has to approve this, who has to be informed, who all have to be reviewed. This is defined here. So what does Wrench do is that we take that distribution list and your quality procedure and integrate it together by creating something called a workflow, which is the quality procedure. And inside that, you specify who is the responsible person by role based on your distribution metrics. And also we add another dimension called the rule of credit, which is a weightage which you specify for activities which you want to track in your engineering deliverables. And then you can see that the process flow, whether this can be rejected. If it's rejected, it has to go to them. The exact process that you follow is defined here. And the same thing applies even for the vendor drawings, so that the vendor gives you a deliverable list. Once you receive the drawing from the vendor, who should it be sent to? Who has to review it? Who has to approve it? Should this be sent to a client? All that is defined through this workflow. So you can define it, and you can define the weightages inside this. Once you set this up, then you actually process this through the system. So again, what happens is we also build a quality system within Wrench, by which you can prompt the user for a checklist in case they have a set of checks they need to do against each deliverable, so that the checklist will make sure that you have checked. If a designer has to check something, he has a set of checklists. If a checker has to check something, he will have a different checklist for the same type of document. So you can predefine this so that these checkpoints are ticked off, so that people don't overlook, so that you want to achieve do it right first time as a goal that can be achieved by using this checklist. Now, once this checklist is ticked, then only you can send this particular drawing. So whether you're working on a 3D model or a 2D drawing, you can publish this to the team who has to review it as per the workflow. They can comment on the model or on the drawing. So which means if the drawing has to be reviewed by multiple people, so we call it as interdisciplinary check or IDC, multiple people can simultaneously connect to the same drawing, view the same drawing, and put their comments. So the advantage here is, when one person is commenting, that comment can be seen by the other person. So whereas you are making sure that this person cannot edit the other person's comment. So the comments get consolidated on the same view. So you can avoid duplication of comments. You can avoid conflicting comments. So this will help you to reduce the time of consolidation and capturing all these comments in one place. Once you get those comments, then you can create a comment resolution sheet, which is automatically generated from the system. So this is a database which lists out all the comments that were there in the drawing, who has put this, when it was put, and then you can make sure that when you're sending this drawing back to the designer, or if you're doing this on a vendor drawing, you're sending it back to the vendor, he has to tick off that every comment has been taken care of. Either he's going to do it, or he cannot do it, he has to put a remark on it, so that you have a proper audit trail and a closeout of every comment, which is part of your quality procedure. So this is done completely automatically, so that you can get a report on how many comments are outstanding. All that can be captured through the system itself. Now, once you finish your drawing, then what you do is you send the drawing to anybody externally. The standard procedure is you send a transmittal. Now, this transmittals can be created automatically from the system, because it knows which drawing has to be submitted for approval, which has to go for review. So those drawings are identified. A transmittal cover sheet is automatically created, and it includes the actual person who has to sign off on this transmittal with a signature. Everything goes totally digitally, and this can be sent to your client or to your vendor, depending on what is the process flow that you're following. And then once your client receives this, in case your client is part of a system, they can just receive it on Wrench. But if they are not part of the system and they insist that we have our own system and you need to provide these drawings to us, we can publish it into their system. In case they say, no, we don't have any system, you send it by email, you can send it as an email. But generally what happens is, when you're sending such drawings to a client, it can clutter his email. So what you do is, you don't actually send the drawing, you send a link of the drawing from our server, so that when they click on it, they can download it. Now, the advantage by doing that is, when they download it, you get an acknowledgement that the client has received it. And you have an aging date within which the client has to respond it back to you. Now, you can send reminders to the client that in 5 days or 10 days, you're supposed to send back my comments. I haven't received it. You can give them a list of drawings outstanding from them. And this can make sure that your client, you expedite the client automatically to get the feedback from the client, so that you can get the drawing completed and released. Now, if there are no changes, then you issue the drawing, but a client can give you comments. Now, they can give you a comment by just like the redlining that I showed you through your system, or they can even do it offline, where they can use a PDF or Adobe PDF writer and put comments on it and then give it back to you. Now, once you get the comments, then the designer is going to revise the drawing. So they can upload the revised drawing into the system. So once a revised drawing is uploaded, the system automatically archives the previous revision and always shows you the latest revision. So when it is archiving the previous revision, it is capturing every information which was captured in the previous revision, which is what comments were put, what were the client comments, what was the comment resolution sheet. Everything with date and time is automatically captured in the system. So this will make sure that you don't have to do any documentation. Wrench SmartProject is automatically doing your documentation, so that tomorrow if you want to go back and check what happened in revision 0, what were the comments put, you can retrieve it very easily. You can open it online and it's all available on the system. Now, once you have the different revisions of drawing, what you would like to do is you may want to compare the drawings and see what are the changes between the two drawings. So you can have a visual comparison of these drawings, because this is extremely important, because when you send it to a vendor with certain comments, you are not certain whether they have only modified what you asked them to do. They might have modified somewhere else. Now, by doing this comparison, you can reduce the amount of checking time. You can see that whether they have only modified what you asked them to do, and then you can issue the drawing faster out if there are no changes made by them. Now, also another very important thing is, finally, for engineering, drawings are issued for construction. That's why you make it, or for procurement. Now, most of the time, or rather on every project, no matter how digital you are, people print drawings. Okay, so when I print a drawing, you are outside the system. So there is quite a possibility that you are holding on to a drawing and you have this particular same drawing has got revised on the system. Now you have no way to check. So you can keep telling people that please check the drawing before use. But what we have done is we have put a QR code on every drawing that is printed. So we have give you a mobile app, which is a Wrench mobile app, which you can download on iPhone or Android phone. You can run through the mobile on top of this QR code. It will immediately tell you by verifying with the server whether this particular printed drawing is the latest or not. Now, the other advantage also is that this can also work in an offline mode, which means you are somewhere in a remote location or in a place where there's no connectivity. You still can check this offline and make sure that nobody ever uses an older drawing. So any possibility of using an older drawing for construction can be completely avoided by using this functionality. Now, what do you get from this? We are capturing the plan, we are capturing the actuals, we are capturing the progress. Now, every report that is required for monitoring engineering deliverables come out automatically. So you can get a report, and these are all drill down reports, which can tell you that how many drawings were supposed to come, how many are pending with the client. This is a real-time report which you can use. So your project control folks do not have to chase people to get the drawings which are approved or released. They don't have to ask anybody. They get the report because they get the status, and they don't have to produce any more reports. So they can use this information to make necessary corrective actions. So like this, you can have drill down reports. This is another pending document report. You can get, like if you have a drawing submitted to the client and then the client is not responding back on time, you can show a trend analysis that I gave you so many drawings. Initially, you gave me the drawings back faster. But now as you see, as the project is progressing, you are delaying giving me back drawings. You can show him the trend analysis. Same way, you have an engineering drawing in register, like the one which I showed you at the beginning as a master document list. This is updated real time. You don't have to go back and update your Excel sheets. System automatically updates with the actuals, and then you can get your S-curves also generated through the system. And here you see that what are the drawings which are delayed, which means it's not progressing as per the plan. You could go there and see those delayed drawings, and you can see where it is pending, with whom it is pending, since when it is pending. You can get that information from there. And then you can generate lots of different types of dashboard. I'm just showing you some examples of various dashboards that we produce. And these dashboards are produced in Power BI, which means you can create any of these dashboards yourself if you are familiar with Power BI. Now, there is a saying that if a drawing is produced, if there is one person producing a drawing, there are 6 people viewing the drawing. Now, those people are used to seeing these things in folders because they don't want to go through a complicated system. So we have created something called smart folders, where based on that user profile, you can create a set of standard list of folders which they would want to see, and the drawings are published into those folders. So the advantage that you see here is, in a Windows folder, if I create a set of folders, it's the same view for everybody. Whereas in Wrench, you can take the same drawing and put it in different folders based on the metadata. So if I am from engineering and I want to see drawings from my discipline related to a project, I will only see that. Now I am from procurement and I want to see set of drawings based on project and equipment type, and I want to see the list of drawing, I can see it differently. Though the drawing is the same, it will be published in folders. So you don't have to do search. You can quickly access the drawings in the respective folder and then you can move on with your work. Now, other than drawing management, in every project or every engineering, there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of correspondences that take place, RFIs, which either come in or you send out these. These are things which are very critical because a decision in an RFI might be critical for the project. So you need to track it. Plus, if you ask for an information and you don't get a reply on time, your project can get delayed. So hence, you can track all these correspondences inside the system. You can monitor them and see how many emails I have sent, how many are supposed to be replied, how many are still pending with the client. You can generate a report. Plus, the actual email being sent continues to go through your Outlook or through your emailing system. The system captures those emails, stores it in the central system with the complete thread. Plus, it reports you that which all replies you have not got, which replies which you are expected to send. All this can be tracked to the system. Other than correspondences, some organizations use minutes of the meetings in which they record what are the things to be done, which are actionable, which are information, and these go to different people as information. So in our to-do list, the user gets what are the actions he has to do on the document, what are the actions he has to do on the task, and he can see what are the actions which he needs to do against each of the minutes of the meeting action items. So this is tracked, monitored, and you can ensure this. So what does Wrench SmartProject provide you as benefits is that because we are capturing all these information on a real time, it is first ensuring that by ensuring the processes, ensuring 100% quality. It gives you high level of efficiency, in terms of document management, because documents are incidentally managed. Because as people keep using it, the revisions, versions, the process flow, everything is managed automatically. So the efficiency at which, so you don't need somebody to manage a document. System manages the document. You just do your job of creating document. Same way, there is no more time spent on reporting. System captures the data. The plan is already there. The actuals are captured. Progress is captured. So all your reporting is done automatically. So it eases the time on project management. So one of our customers was saying that we used to have the equal number of project managers as a number of projects. But we were able to bring it down to 1/4 or even lesser because all these things a project manager is supposed to do is done through the system. So the project managers are spending time, their 70% of the time is chasing people to get status and reporting. Now they can spend their time taking proactive action based on the status so that they can bring the project back on track. So, and then you can go completely digital, which means you can have all the data that is captured here. And there are also lot of other improvement. Now with AI come into picture, you can see trends, you can see productivity, you can see where are the mistakes coming from. Since you're capturing all the comments, which are the types of errors, how many of it is improvement, how many are changes. The whole change management process is done digitally. So based on this past data which we are capturing, you can make better informed decisions in new projects that you do so that you are able to make sure that every project that you do is done based on a plan and you are able to deliver the quality that you want. So in a nutshell, what does a engineering deliverable management system offer you? First is ensures quality by ensuring your distribution metrics, your process flows. It ensures you can monitor and control your deliverables by monitoring the schedule and the progress. Third is documents, which are the most important or the largest data that you manage is completely managed, through the system. And then again, I'm not talking about resource management here because we're talking about only engineering document management. And then it provides you a platform for review, collaboration, multi-office working. Everybody is just a login. So it doesn't matter where you are. So Our system was extremely useful, especially during the COVID time when people went to work from home. Those organizations that implemented our system, they could just distribute work to people anywhere they want, and they could work from there because of the simplicity by which the system is designed, because ultimately everybody is just a login name and they can access data depending on the security compliance that are required. So from a compliance, from a HSE, quality, and also from security, very critical. Because as a design organization, or when it's design data, people keep it very close to the heart. So the system is ISO 2700 ISMS compliant. Your data is absolutely safe. So we host our system on Azure, which is from Microsoft. It has been audited. It has been certified. It is absolutely safe. So though as engineering companies, you might be worried about keeping your data outside your office, if the minute you shift it to a cloud, you can have access it from anywhere. You can have people working from home. You can be absolutely secure that nobody can have access to the data other than how you control it. So this is what Wrench deliverable management capabilities are in helping you to manage your project. Thank you.